Good morning friends, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching In Focus by Drishti IAS. In this episode, we'll be talking about the weather patterns, or you can say the change in the weather patterns and how they are linked with the air pollution. Okay. Also, we will see that how it has impacted the lives of many people and resulted into death of nearly 135 million people in a time frame of 1980s to 2020. And we are talking about all these things because there is this study which has actually, you can say, research about it, and they have come up with this data, and this research has happened in Singapore. There is a Nanyang University which has come up with this particular report. Okay, so let's start our discussion. Air pollution, wildfires linked to 135 million premature death. That is what a study says, that is done in a university based in Singapore. Okay. Now they are talking about 135 million deaths, that is from the time period, or you can say 1980 to 2020. In the period of nearly 40 years, we have witnessed such death. Okay. Now we will try to understand that how these weather patterns or the change in the weather patterns are basically impacting the air pollution, or ultimately how they are impacting the health. Okay. So let's start our discussion. We will first start with the news article. We will see what is the news regarding this, and then we will come to the report. Okay. So Nanyang Technological University in Singapore, they have come up with a report, and we will be talking about the key findings of that report. Okay. Then climate patterns and pollution. We will try to figure out how these climate patterns and the pollutions are linked with each other. Then we'll come to how El Nino and IOD are impacting the air. Okay. Now, when we are talking about IOD and El Nino, we have mentioned it specifically because they were specifically mentioned in the report. Okay. So we will talk about that, and in the end there will be a prelims MCQ for you to practice. Okay. Now coming to the news here. Singapore's Nanyang Technological University NTU based study says that weather phenomena like El Nino and the Indian Ocean Dipole has worsened the effects of pollutants by intensifying their concentration in the air. So somehow the weather phenomena or the climatic phenomena like El Nino and Indian Ocean Dipole, they are basically impacting the concentration of the air pollutants which are present in the air. Okay. So since they are intensifying the, you can say, pollution standards or the concentration, they will have a harmful impact on the health of the people. Okay. So here you can see pollution from man-made emissions and other sources like wildfires have been linked to around 135 million premature deaths worldwide between 1980 to 2020, and that is what the study says. Okay. So that is the news. Now we will try to study the key findings, and then we'll try to make a link between them. Okay. So key findings are: first, impact of weather pattern. The whole discussion today will be around around this particular weather patterns. Okay. Now it is saying that weather phenomena like El Nino and Indian Ocean Dipole worsen the impact or effect of the pollutants by increasing their concentration. Now we don't know how it is basically increasing it, or you can say the study did not say that. They said that there are avenues for the future research in that. But the thing is, we know that with the El Nino and IOD, there is an increase in the pollutant content on the concentration. Okay. That is one thing, because of which what is happening is that there is nearly 135 million people who has died prematurely. And why? Because these pollutants are having impact on the health. Okay, here you can say diseases and conditions causing premature death included strokes, heart and lung diseases, and cancer. Okay, so these are basic you can say reasons because of which these people are dying. Okay. Now coming to the next part, here you can say some when we are talking about the impact of in the areas or the regional impact, we will see that Asia has witnessed highest among that. Okay. See, highest number of premature deaths due to the PM 2.5 with over 98 million people has been affected. Okay. So now they are talking about PM 2.5. You know that it is a pollutant. Okay. And the kind of or the extent of this pollutant, or you can say the size of these pollutants is so small that it will get inside your body and even inside your blood stream. Okay. And that is why it is more dangerous, because it can enter into bloodstream and cause various diseases. Okay. Now when we are talking about the countries with the significant impact, here you can say China and India. We are talking about Asia, and in Asia, China and India are the major contributor to the high number of deaths, obviously because of the pollution. Okay. Second is Pakistan, Bangladesh and Indonesia, Japan. They have seen significant premature death ranging from 2 to 5 million people. Okay. So we can say that Asia is witnessing highest impact, and second, we are saying that China and India is having maximum number of deaths over here, and Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia and Japan are also impacted by that. Okay, now coming to the next part, that is basically climate patterns and the pollution. Okay, now climate patterns can exacerbate the air pollution level. Okay, so they are saying that because of the change in the climate patterns, somehow there is a increase in the air pollution. Okay, now there are certain you can say factors which are basically important when we are talking about the air pollution, etc. So few of them are temperature. Okay, also you see rainfall. There are other factors like you can say wind speed. Okay, all these factors are important when we talk about temperature. If temperature of a particular area is increased, okay, and or you can say the day temperature is high, so at that point of time the ozone, ground ozone level will be high. Okay, now you know that ozone in the stratosphere is not harmful, but ozone on the ground, when we are talking about the Earth's atmosphere, and the lower layer in the troposphere, when we talk about the ozone is harmful in the troposphere. Okay, so because of the increase in the temperature, we will have increased concentration of the ozone. Okay, so that is there. Other than that, when we are talking about the rainfall, rainfall has an impact that if there is a pollution and particles are inside the air, and if there is rain, these particles will settle down. Okay, but if there is no rainfall, and ultimately what will happen, that these particles will be suspended in the air, and that will cause air pollution. Okay, so that is how rainfall will impact the air pollution. Then wind speed. Wind speed will help you disperse the particles. Okay, so that is also one of the phenomena. Recently we have seen that earlier we used to witness a lot of air pollution in the Delhi. Okay, but this time we have also witnessed that there is pollution in the Mumbai like areas as well, and that is because of the wind speeds. Okay, wind speeds and the directions. Now direction was such that they have led it to Mumbai as well. Okay, so such things are basically somehow these elements are impacting the climate, and these elements are impacting the pollution as well. Now quote, there is a quote from the study leader says that change in the climate patterns can make air pollution worse, which means more people might die prematurely because of the PM 2.5 pollution. As I told you, PM 2.5 is more dangerous because it is very small. It can enter inside your bloodstream as well. Okay, now future studies will explore the impact of climate change on air pollution. So basically they are saying that more impact and whatever cause effect relation is there, that can be seen in the future studies. Okay, now coming to the next part, they have specifically mentioned El Nino and the Indian Ocean Dipole. So I will tell you, these El Nino and the Indian Ocean Dipole, these are basically nothing but you can say collective impact of the wind directions. Okay, and when these wind direction or the you can say moisture from the one particular area to another area, that actually impact the rainfall, they impact the wind speed, wind directions, etc., and ultimately rainfall, wind speed, wind direction, temperature, they are all impacting the air pollution. Okay, so we have previous slide we have seen that how temperature, rainfall, wind speed, wind direction will impact the you can say pollutants and their concentration. So when we are talking about El Nino, you know that El Nino is a particular impact wherein you will see above normal heating of a particular area. When we are talking about this area of Southern American continent, okay, and you must have heard about this Chile and Peru, these are the area which are normally cold. Okay, but because of the El Nino, there will be you can say temperature increase, or you can say the hot water from this particular area will move from Australian side, it will move towards the African continent, South American continent. Okay, and when it is moving over here and it is depositing over here, the temperature here will rise. Okay, temperature here will rise, then there will be convection, these hot airs will rise above, they will form clouds, and ultimately there will be a rainfall. Okay, so ultimately there will be rainfall in that particular area. Okay, so that is one thing, and because of which what will happen over here is that you will see you can say drought like situation, okay, or dry situations over here. So that is one thing. In La Nina, what happens is the exact opposite. In this particular area, there will be above normal cooling. Okay, and this area will witness increase in the temperature, or you can say the ocean currents will be moving this side. These are warm ocean currents. Okay, and the surface temperature of ocean will increase, and ultimately rainfall will happen in this particular area. Okay, so this area will be dry. So this is the basic phenomena of El Nino and La Nina. Now what we are seeing over here is that how El Nino is impacting it, because we know that when we are talking about the El Nino, in this particular phase, this area of Asia and Australia, this will be dry. That means that rainfalls will be less. As I told you, if rainfall is less, that means that the air particle, or you can say air pollutant particles, they will be suspended in the air. That means you will see higher air pollution. So that is what has happened this time also, because in the last few years we have seen El Nino. Now we are moving towards La Nina. Okay. So right now we have, in the past year we have witnessed dry conditions over here, and because of which there was high air pollution. Okay. So that is about El Nino. Now similar condition happens in the Indian Ocean region as well. That is called Indian Ocean Dipole. Now here we have seen that there is a relation between the side of Australia and the Southern America. Now here in this particular area, you can say this phenomena takes place in the Indian Ocean region. Okay. So here you can see this is the area of Madagascar, or African, you can say eastern coast of Africa, and then you will see this area of Australia, etc. Okay. So now similarly, you can say warm air will move towards this particular direction of towards Australia, and then there will be convection, and then there will be rainfall over here, and so there will be rain, and this area will be dry. Okay. And similar, when we are, this is what is called the negative Indian Ocean Dipole, because you know that in this particular area there is no rainfall. And now if we see from our perspective, India is over here and we are not witnessing any rainfall over there, then that is why it is a negative phase of Indian Ocean Dipole, just to remember. Okay. Now coming to the next part, the situation will be opposite over here, and here you will see rainfall. So in this area you will be seeing rainfall. Okay. So that is a positive phase of Indian Ocean Dipole. Okay. So ultimately in the negative phase, what happens that there are no rainfalls, and ultimately because of no rainfalls in India, or lesser rainfalls in India, there will be higher concentration of air pollutants. Okay. So this is how El Nino and the Indian Ocean Dipole will impact the air pollutant and their concentration, and ultimately it will control the, or you can say impact the air pollution. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Now we'll move to the last part of the day, that is basically your practice question here. So how do weather phenomena like El Nino and the Indian Ocean Dipole affects the air pollution levels? Okay. By increasing rainfall and washing away pollutants, by reducing temperatures and slowing down pollutant reactions, by intensifying the concentration of the pollutants in the air, and by dispersing pollutants and reducing their concentration. So that is the question. So we have already discussed all these phenomena over here. So you can attempt this question and answer in the comment box. Okay. So with that, I would like to take your leave. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Have a nice day. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.